Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jakub Vaniš. This is going to be JV Talks, another episode of my podcast. And today we're going to be taking a look at the latest and greatest, basically, event of Apple. And to be honest, this was one of the best ones we've had in a while. They packed everything into 60 minutes. This video is going to be about 15 minutes out of it. And as you can see, we are starting off strong already. They started basically with AirPods 3, something I'm extremely excited about. I upgraded from AirPods Pro 1 to AirPods Pro 2, and it was a significant upgrade in ANC, but also in the sound quality. And I love them. Honestly, this is my favorite product of Apple so far. And they are introducing, after I think 3 or 4 years now, Apple AirPods Pro 3. They have a slightly different design. They are a little bit smaller. They can now go for 8 hours, so a full, kind of working day or a full international flight overseas. Apparently, they have like holes in them that are like making the soundstage wider, better bass and better vocals and high-pitched sounds as well. So they have better battery, 5 ear tips. The ear tips now have memory foam in them. So it's something that is really, really interesting, for me, if the quality of the sound and the battery is better and the fit is better. I like the fit of my AirPods, and I'm a little bit concerned about this memory foam. Will it feel different? Everybody who tested it on site says it felt a little bit different. ANC is better now, twice better compared to the previous generation, and 4 times better compared to the original. So I'm really, really excited, but I will wait. They're launching on 19th of September. I'll wait for, and it's for the same price, by the way, $249. So I'll wait for the, first reviews to see how they are. So that was AirPods 3. Then they switched for Apple Watch, and I was also pleasantly surprised. So not that many innovations, So Apple Watch Series 11 launched. It's basically the same as Series 10. I think they have now a new anti-reflective coating, a little bit better battery life in them, but otherwise it's the same shape and form. And actually, they introduce really cool new features, hypertension or high blood pressure notification that will measure your blood pressure for about a month. And that will, then notify you whether you need to get checked by a doctor or something like that. They say that about 1 billion of people are diagnosed with hypertension, but this is something that should be apparently in the first year alone, notifying at least a couple million people, and hopefully, improving or saving their lives, so they can do something about it, start treatment or change their lifestyle. But they have also, as you could see, introduced another app or another feature, which is called sleep tracking, I think, or sleep score, which is something that I think Android phones were doing for a while. And, the sleep score will basically give you a score after every night, how long you slept, how many times did you wake up, and all of the individual information that the Apple Watch is already gathering, you will get. And now the surprise thing is, this is also launching for everything in I think in Watch 10 and Watch 9. So the last 2 years watches will get it. And also for Apple Watch Ultra 3, which they are now launching, as well as Apple Watch Ultra 2 will get it. So this is really great because, now you have all of these things that will be basically kind of backwards compatible. And this sounds so un-Apple-like because usually they would lock these new features behind, new model. But right now, there's no incentive. I have Apple Watch Ultra 2, with that black finish, and I love them. They are amazing. And I'm glad that I can keep them because I'm not getting anything new with what they are announcing. They also announced, by the way, the Apple Watch SE. The new one actually gets a lot new features, as you can see here on the screen. Always on display, temperature sensing, fast charging, the vitals, sleep score, I think one thing that they are not getting is the hypertension notification into them. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Then they went and announced the Apple Watch Ultra 3, which exactly looks like Apple Watch, Ultra 2, that they actually also used twice last year and the year before, because last year they just added the black color. So it's interesting that this one is slightly different in, I think it's slightly brighter, and the display, the bezels are slightly smaller, but the shape of the watch is the same. So you will get basically a slightly more screen space in this watch. I don't know if it's something significant, but definitely a good way to go. I would suspect that next year we will get new watch, and as you can see here, they have updated the battery life as well. I think from 38 hours or 36 hours to 42. Already the battery life is a king on this one. I usually do 2 days with my Apple Watch, and I also sleep with them. I use them as an alarm so I don't wake up my family. But so they haven't upgraded the prices, given the tariffs and everything. Everybody was expecting that they will update the prices, but the pricing is the same. But again, the best news here is that they keep everybody in the same boat, and the people that have bought a watch, in the last 2 years are getting all the new features. Last year it was sleep apnea that you were getting, and now you're getting this. Let me sip some coffee here. So then we're moving on to the main event, and that's iPhones, right? So they started with Apple iPhone 17. And honestly, this is the biggest upgrade, I would say, for the new normal iPhone, for just normal iPhone. In a long while, and for a great price of $799, they keep the same price. They are giving a new screen with 3000 nits peak outdoors brightness, amazing Super Retina XDR display. It's less bezels, so smaller bezels, so 6.3 inches wide, ceramic shield 2, so 3 times better scratch resistance, but mainly it's 120 hertz display finally in a mainline iPhone, and it's getting a new chip which is much more powerful, all the Apple Intelligence shenanigans, etc. It's getting also this like camera control button that the last year's Pro models were getting. So it's getting a ton of new features that the Pro models would normally be getting for a really decent price, and I think this will drive a lot of sales, really. Not even from people just from the Apple ecosystem, but also from people that are coming over from Android and basically just Android. I don't know who else they would be coming from. So it's really cool. It packs a great performance. Also, the battery life is better. It has faster charging, especially also the GPU is much faster. So, this is a phone that I would recommend almost to anybody. Honestly, they really nailed it with this one. It's the familiar form factor, though, now you have a little bit different design of the cameras in the back. But yeah, I think they're coming kind of back to, what was it, iPhone 11 or 12 that had this? iPhone X or iPhone 10 and 11 I think had this. But they are also adding one really cool feature. So they have upgraded those cameras, by the way. In the back you can see 48 megapixel Fusion ultra wide camera. So that's awesome that they're getting it, and also you can see the colors here, really popping, really nice. But they have added a really cool feature which is used for the front camera, for selfies basically, or I often record my videos also with a selfie camera on my iPhone, and honestly this would be a great upgrade because they are adding a square sensor in it. Of course, more megapixels, I think 24 or 48, so it's gonna be way sharper. But this square sensor, I don't know why nobody ever did this. So now you don't need to flip your phone, to go horizontal or vertical. It will automatically detect it, or you can of course trigger it on the screen, but you can go as wide as you want. So it's now way wider, and it will detect if more people are behind you, that it will need a wide screen, etc. Because it's a square sensor. It's really brilliant idea. Then I think kind of the main event, usually it's the Pros because these are the most expensive. Now they have introduced a new category that they are already using for iPads and for MacBooks. It's an Air iPhone Air. iPhone 17 Air, they call it. And it's really something right out of Steve Jobs' era. The video that they showed, of manufacturing this and to introduce it was really amazing. Like that was beautiful. By the way, the whole event was really nicely shot, and of course they shot it all on iPhone 17 Pro, I believe, as they are doing as of iPhone 15 era. But to look at this, I think the most interesting thing about this is that, of course, it's super thin. It's 5.6 millimeters thin only. It's titanium body. It's super light, and they have this new, they call it camera plateau, like, so the new shape of that kind of pill on the top of it. And that basically hides all of the computer in it. So the motherboard and the A19 Pro chip and all of these things are just hidden in that top plateau, part. And everything else in the phone, the whole space, is actually dedicated just to battery. So I'm thinking, how many people will switch for this, because the main downside is still, because it's so thin, the battery is not going to be that big. And also you're losing two cameras, the ultra wide and the telephoto. So you just have one main sensor, even though Apple will tell you to have, kind of these digital lenses due to cropping. But of course, that's just marketing shenanigans. So I really cannot wait to see it in person. It looks stunning, to be honest. It's really beautiful. Especially this white silver color. And they also use this titanium, like extremely polished titanium or something like that, so it's kind of mirror like reflective version of it. It just looks beautiful, and it looks like they were testing this feature to hide all of it into this small pill of the plateau on the top, in order to basically, you can see it here, how the battery actually is big, in order to, prepare the AR glasses or something like that. Or it seems like this is going to be the future of Apple products, that they will try to hide all of this, computer in a small space and dedicate the rest for battery or something like that. I think this will be their internal design. This was interesting. They have a new kind of MagSafe battery just designed for this one that kind of fits exactly, there. But it's interesting that they were quoting, that with this battery you can do 40 hours of video playback, but they didn't quote how many hours is it without this. So we'll have to wait and see. I think this is gonna be the bottleneck, the cameras, and especially the battery life. Let's see how the first tests and reviews are. But this bumper case also is looking nice. They have new bumpers. Also, by the way, all of the new cases, they you can use this lanyards now with them, which my wife is a big fan of. Of course, me as a man, not really much. These are kind of magnetic or something, so way better than competition, probably also way more expensive, but they look really nice, and I know there's a lot of people that are interested in them. And the main course of the actual announcement is the iPhone 17 Pro, now in three colors: silver, orange, staggering orange, cosmic orange, and deep blue or dark blue or something like that. So this time, for the first time ever, they're not introducing a black iPhone, and this is weird, honestly. I've always bought a black iPhone, and I think most of the people actually are preferring a black iPhone. So maybe a couple months down the road, by the end of the year, they will introduce a black iPhone to still persuade some people to buy. So what is new? Completely new design. Now we're watching this vapor chamber for cooling, that is introduced here. They went back to aluminium from titanium, which is a little bit weird flex. And but it's, as you can see, 20 times better than titanium for heat conductivity. So like it disperses heat way better than titanium and glass. So right now there's no glass, there's a ceramic shield on the back, just a piece of it. But otherwise this is kind of one aluminum body, like a large body. Apparently, it is really durable, just as is the iPhone 17 Air. It looks really nice. I think this is the design that we're going to be stuck with for another 3 years or something, at least in the back. It looks also like something that can be quite easily repairable for Apple. So hopefully it's way cheaper than, if you scratch your back or crashed your back, of an iPhone up until now, it costs you a ton, unless you had Apple Care. It has significant battery boost, but also depends. Okay, you can see here 39 hours of video playback, which is amazing. But that battery, comes at a cost. They have two versions still. That you have the eSIM version and the dual SIM or the normal SIM version that is, I think, being sold in Europe. And the eSIM version, utilizes the space for the SIM tray for the battery, so you get way more battery with this one. So like if I get an option, I would definitely choose the eSIM version. I honestly just use eSIMs all the time anyways. It's way better for me. They've upgraded the camera system. They showed some crazy cool videos. The biggest update, I think, is to the telephoto and ultra wide lens, especially the telephoto. Now it's not 5x, but it's 4x. But since it's 48 megapixel, all of them are right now, you can crop in more. So it gives you digital 8 times zoom as well, cropped in from this 4x sensor. So that looks also pretty cool. I am usually, so why do I upgrade is for the screen and for the processor, and I've seen some Geekbench scores, and this one seems to be 50% more faster or compared to the previous version, which is because usually they do like 15-20% improvement. This time they did 50%, so that's significant, especially for GPU. So that is one thing why I would update. All of the and the battery life, of course, and the cameras. Now all of the phones are now starting with 256 gigs, which is great, especially for the normal iPhone 17, which stays the same price. Otherwise, I think they raised the price of the Pro from $1,000 to $1,100. But the iPhone Air is gonna be, how much is it? $1,000. So this is the full lineup. As you can see, they still offer 16E, which is also a great phone, to be honest. And you can pre-order already this Friday, so tomorrow, available September 19th. So honestly, this was really well done, and it was like a big flexing, from Apple. One of the best shows that they have put together, and I am really interested, though, I've upgraded recently, so I'm not upgrading, definitely. I don't need it. My 16 Pro doesn't need it. But the AirPods Pro 3, I might be lured to upgrade and sell my AirPods Pro 2. Because I'm just like a audiophile, so I really really want to check those out. I will wait until we see some reviews, and based on that I will decide whether to go for them. Let me know in the comments, if you would go for something in that lineup. How did you like the whole event? Is there something that really piqued your interest? I'm really happy personally with the Apple Watch added features that are also being added to all of the older models. This is really the right way to do this, Apple. So applauding them there. And so this has been Jakub Vanish, JV Talks, and I wish you an amazing day, everybody. Take care and bye-bye.